Hello, everyone. Welcome to my live stream with Better Reading. I'm really excited to be here. And today is the day that Family of Strangers actually hit the shelf. So it's launch day. And I'm very excited to be here and chatting to you about the book. I live and breathe it for a solid year when I'm writing it. And so it's always really exciting to be able to hold it in my hand and chat to you about it. Oh, hi, Michelle. Lovely to see you. Thanks for popping in. I decided that I would leave Victoria for this book. And oh, hi, Rita. Welcome. Thanks for coming. MD, Tajosum, good to see you. And Sabine, lovely to see you. Thanks for joining me. Oh, Inverloch, beautiful part of Victoria, Inverloch. Absolutely, gorgeous beaches. So yeah, I was just saying that. Oh, Diane, hi, Diane, how are you? Lovely to see you. Today is the launch day. Hi, Helen. And I wasn't expecting. Sometimes I go to the shops on the day that the book hits the shelf, and it's not there. And but today I saw it in a couple of places being unpacked. So that's great. Oh, hi, Anne. Not so far from me. Welcome. And Rideo, lots of people, welcome. Oh, hi from Ballarat. We're crossing all parts of Victoria tonight. And so I did want to say a shout out. I assume that anyone struggling with the floods will not be tuning in, but just wanted to let you know that been following the news and thinking of everyone as you're struggling with all that water and all that mud. So, yeah, my heart goes out to everyone who's dealing with that. Hi, Joanne. Hi from Perth. So, as I was saying before, I have taken a detour from Victoria, and A Family of Strangers is set down in Tasmania. And the reason I did that was because our eldest son studied down in the University of Tasmania. He studied medicine. And so he was down there for 8 years. So I spent quite a bit of time zipping down to visit, and we fell in love with the island, and I wanted to set a book there. But when I had the idea to set the book, it was about 2019, early 2020. And I thought, oh, I'll be able to visit and, make it a tax break. But of course, we got hit by COVID, and I wasn't able to go down and visit. So fortunately, I have lots of contacts on the ground who could answer all those questions about how much a cup of coffee was and different things like that. But we did eventually get down there to the northwest coast, which is absolutely beautiful. Hi, everyone. We've got people from Adelaide, Christine. Hi, and we've got Sharon from Melbourne. Are you on your way home from work, Sharon? And Lynn, you're from Burnie. Well, Burnie gets quite a few mentions in the book, Lynn. I didn't want to set the book in any particular town because if I do that, people will say, there's not a service station on that intersection. So what I do is I create a fictitious town in a real part of the country. So my Rookery Cove is a little bit of Devonport, a little bit of Stanley, and it's geographically, it's where Boat Harbour is. And Burnie gets quite a lot of mentions. And my son actually worked at the Burnie Hospital. So, yeah, we know Burnie. So we've got, hi, Debbie from Perth, and Bronwyn. Oh, your daughter. Hello, Bronwyn. Miri, lovely. And Haywood. Oh, great part of the world. So thanks all so much for coming to listen to me rabbit on tonight about A Family of Strangers. As I said, it's just been released today. And if you've read any of my books, you'll know that I like to deal with some contemporary issues. And in a home like ours, the theme was displacement, and I dealt with there was homelessness and being a refugee and chronic illness. But with this book, with A Family of Strangers, I wrote the word escape on my whiteboard. And I thought about all the different ways that we try to escape from our lives. And yep, feel free to ask me any questions as I go along. So I've told the book from the point of view from three women, and Steph and Henry, they had a holiday down in Rookery Cove. So when you're on holidays, it's not real life, right? We it's relaxing, we're away from home, and it all seems wonderful. But a lot of people think maybe that they can move to where they had a holiday and their life will be so much better. But that doesn't actually work. But Steph and Henry decided to do that. They decided that they would have a sea change and that they would simplify their life, and Steph would get to start her own business, and Henry just needed an internet connection. Well, there's quite a few mountains in that part of Tassie, and all you need in a valley is one mountain between you and the mobile phone tower. And that's exactly what happened. And so suddenly they're struggling to do what they wanted to do. And then Henry's daughter comes to live with them. And Steph finds that she is busy carrying the mental load for everyone. And I wrote this from a very personal perspective. Even today, I got asked about the shopping list when I was trying to do something. So, yeah, I explored that. And I think any woman, it doesn't matter how old you are, you will relate to Steph trying to juggle her life. You had lunch at Boat Harbour, Lynn. Oh, fantastic. The blue of that sea, it looks like it could be Queensland. Absolutely. I adore Boat Harbour. That's why I decided that I would make put my town there, make it a little bit bigger. And then I've got, Anne's asking, is the book available as an audiobook? Absolutely. Yes, it is. I've been really fortunate that Rebecca Macaulay has narrated all 6 of my books, and the audiobook became available today, just like the ebook and the print book. So it's available through Belinda. You might be able to find it on the Borrow Box app. Bronwyn's saying it's not on Audible yet. It should be. It got released today. It's definitely on my library system. I saw that today at through the Borrow Box app. Excuse me one second. Actually, I should be saying celebration. It's not only is it the birthday of a family of strangers, but my future daughter-in-law, Miss Pharmacist, it's her birthday today. So we've just had a lovely birthday dinner. So the second character in the book, and maybe some people would say the lead character, is Addie. And I wanted to explore a few things with Addie. I wanted to look at workplace culture and the huge impact that has on our lives. And I'm not sure that you're aware, but women in Australia are now drinking a lot more than they used to. And alcoholism is becoming a rising problem, with or without. It's been made worse by COVID, absolutely. But I came up with the thought before COVID. So Addie doesn't believe she has a problem with alcohol because she is holding down a very good job and she's functioning really well, but she's finding it increasingly hard to get up in the mornings. And she's come back to Rookery Cove after 12 years of being away. She grew up there. And anyone who's lived in a small town, anyone knows that it's very hard to hide your past in a small town, and she was a little bit of a wild child, so she's returned and everyone assumes she was pretty much like she was before she left. So and her mum used to run the choir, and Addie's not interested in joining the choir that is restarting, but she gets pulled in. And the reason I decided to do a choir is I needed a reason for these 3 women to meet. And so in a home like ours, I used a community garden, and I thought, well, I'd use a choir. And when I started the book, I thought, well, this was in 2020, we've got a vaccine coming, we'll all be back singing. But of course we haven't been. But choirs are now slowly getting back together, and community choirs are a fabulous places because singing is actually phenomenally good for our mental health. So Steph's very keen to join the choir because she's new to Rookery Cove and she wants to meet people. Addie's not at all keen to join the choir, but she gets dragged in. And then we have Brenda, and Brenda's husband of 35 years has recently died. Well, thanks, Jody. Thanks very much. So she's recently died. He's recently died, pardon me. And she was living on a farm. So she's moved off the farm and her son's taken over and she's moved into town. And she was trying to, she's trying to restart her life. And she's always had a very complicated and difficult relationship with her eldest daughter. And I wanted to mine the whole myth of motherhood. We're always told that mothers and daughters are so close and have a wonderful bond. And sometimes they do, but a lot of the times they don't. And I wanted to explore what if you don't actually like your adult daughter? What if she reminds you of that mother-in-law that you were never particularly close to? But Brenda is trying to improve and strengthen a relationship that really struggled from when Courtney was about 15. So, yeah, and she's joined the choir. She's the pianist in the choir because her good friend Marilyn is wanting to get the choir going. So that's how they all met. And they've all got issues with their families and with themselves. And I'm sure when you read it, there will be moments when you are cheering for them. There are moments when you will be really frustrated with them and want to give them a good slap, because I certainly did. But you know what? We're all human. We're all fallible, and my characters make some of the same mistakes that we do. Oh, Amanda, thank you for the cover. We're very excited about the cover. I had one of these moments that very unexpected moment today. I popped into my local Big W to see if the book was there, and I'd taken some bookmarks, and as I was fumbling with the bookmark to get them out of my bag, I saw a woman pick up the book. And I took my mask off and I said, oh, look, I don't want to freak you out, but I'm actually the author and I've got the bookmark to prove it. And I said, oh, what made you pick it up? And she said, oh, it was the cover. She had no idea who I was. She was a big fan of Trisha Stringer's. And so, yeah, we're very excited about the way that that all the strings show, not only do they form faces, but they show the unraveling and the unraveling of each character, because each character does unravel to a point in the book before they start to work things out. Oh, Maurice, you're originally from Hobart. Beautiful city, Hobart. Just love it. And thank you, Jessica. Thanks for the greetings. Oh, hello, Victoria. Thank you very much for the greetings. And it is a beautiful blue, Michelle. We're very excited about this cover. It's not so obvious perhaps on screen, but when you do actually pick up the book, you will see that it's got tiny wee squares on it. So anyone who's an embroiderer, it's actual embroidery material. So yeah, a lot of work and thought went into the cover, and I think it really does reflect the book. Oh, thank you, Carol. I'm glad that you enjoyed Just an Ordinary Family in a Home Like Ours. You know, I don't necessarily have a favorite book. It's a bit like having a favorite child. I think the book that I really needed to write would have been Home Fires because of my history with bushfires. But generally when I'm writing a book, I do fall in love with the characters, and then sad to leave them as you move on to the next project. But you know, I think writing Addie's story was particularly emotional. And one of the problems when you're writing a book is that your body doesn't actually know that you're not living that experience. So when you're writing a really emotional scene and a really stressful scene, your body thinks that you're experiencing it. And when I wrote parts of Addie's story, and definitely when I wrote Home Fires, I suffered from a great deal of heartburn because my body didn't know that I wasn't actually in that bushfire or in that moment where I couldn't remember anything and was really blank. So yeah, so that's kind of a challenge that authors face when they're writing really emotional scenes. Oh, Bronwyn, I'm so glad that that it's come onto Audible, the audio. I think Rebecca McCauley does an amazing job, and I can't wait to hear it. I'm very blessed to have her having recorded all 6 books. Oh, thanks, Amanda. Yeah. Yeah, Home Fires is pretty special, but I love them all. I love all the books. And I love the opportunity to explore issues that are really pertinent to women. Am I going to make you cry, Michelle? Well, some of the people who won the Better Reading advanced reader copies did say I made them cry, but I do promise you most people end up okay at the end of the book. Oh, hi, Wendy. Thank you for coming. Lovely to see you. And thank you, Lydia. That is my intent, is to delve deep into human characters, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And, you know, we all have moments when we don't perhaps behave as well as we should have. And that definitely happens in this book. There is one event where one character does something fairly reprehensible and unforgivable. And it's an interesting way of how the community reacts. Some people are more forgiving than others, and normally that is more to do with what's going on in your own life. Sometimes people will blow up, and you think, "Whoa!" And then I sort of take a step back and think, you know, I think that's more about what's going on in your life than what I actually said. So, yeah. Anyway. Well, Stacey, I'm happy for you to catch up. That's okay. The books aren't going anywhere. They're available. And A Home Like Ours has just come out in B format, the small one. So it's there. It's ready and waiting. So oh, thank you, Wendy. I'm glad that you've got that. So in regards to the community choir, I sang in the choir, and I'm terribly sorry, the comments disappeared, but someone mentioned, please chime in again and tell me, have any of you sung in a choir? Someone definitely said that they'd sung in a choir. I sang in the school choir, and my kids were very involved in their school choirs, and I've got a couple of friends in community choirs, and so I interviewed them about what it was like, and ran through, you know, the warming up exercises and things like that, and the different songs that they sang, so that I could write all the choir scenes. But one of the challenges for an author is that you're not allowed to use any lines from songs. They're all copyright. The title isn't copywritten, but the actual song is. So you can't say anything, really. You can only say the title. So I had to get really creative when I was mentioning the songs. So there's a reference to a song from The Greatest Showman, This Is Me, and this was a very important song and had a particular significance, but I had to reference it and say things like when she sang the fourth line, and then hope that people knew the song. So yeah, that's there's always a different challenge in every part of the book when you're writing it. Oh, Michelle, you sang in choirs. That's excellent. And thanks, Anne, for letting us know. I know that it definitely landed on my Borrow Box app today at my library. Oh, Fiona, you were in the choir. Fantastic. Yes, you did say you were in the choir. That's wonderful. Church choir or community choir? Yes, it is a great song, This Is Me. And I hope you'll enjoy all the different songs. I had a lot of fun writing the choir scenes because often they were light relief, and, you know, there's quite a few people who are in the choir, and, you know, I don't know if we've all been in groups, and trying to come to a group decision is often really challenging. So I had a bit of fun with people, putting in different thoughts and going completely off topic and things like that. So Maurice, you've just started back singing. Yes, I know no one's been able to sing. In fact, it's very interesting tonight with Miss Pharmacist's birthday. I lit the candles and she said, "Oh, are we blowing them out?" And I went, "Oh, good point." So we sang happy birthday and then we all moved our hands and we blew the candles out that way. Yeah, COVID's changed everything. Church and youth group, excellent. I was actually supposed to be my son's schools every 4 years did come in a Barana with a community, so quite a few schools and then community choirs, and they invited the parents, and I actually was going to sing, but then I got nominated for an award and I had to fly to America, but my husband sang, and that was really special to have 7 schools and parents and staff all coming together to sing. It's pretty special. And so the person who was from Burnie, you'll notice that there's a reference in the book to the Burnie Eisteddfod. Because although my son didn't sing in the Burnie Eisteddfod, he played in the brass band, and the Burnie Eisteddfod, the choir does pretty well there. So, and Hobart, of course, has the Festival of Choirs every it did have, and I'm hoping that will be starting back again soon. So I hope that you enjoy a trip down to Rookery Cove with the Henry and Steph characters who are dealing with moving and trying to set up a new business, and they've got a little boy who's 3, and then unexpectedly having the teenage daughter from Henry's previous relationship come and live with them. I wanted to explore blending a family because I think people seriously underestimate how hard it is to blend a family. Studies have shown it takes about 7 years, which is a really long time. A lot of people have given up by then. So, yeah, there are lots and lots of challenges to do that. And I know many of you are probably doing it. And hats off to you because it is very challenging. Have I seen the movie with Dolly Parton and Queen Latifah about a church choir? Oh, maybe. Yes, I have, a very long time ago. The Whoopi Goldberg movies, I think Sister Act, they're pretty good choirs, and Pitch Perfect as well. Oh, hello, Happy Valley. Lovely to see you. Thank you very much for the congratulations. And hi, Lisa. How's the northeast coast of Tasmania? Lisa lives in a lovely part of the world, but she's just around the corner from where I set the book. And there's been a few books set in Tassie recently. It's one of those things, I didn't actually tell anyone that I was going to set this book in Tasmania. And sometimes I think ESP goes out into the zeitgeist because there's a few books that have been released, mine and one last month in Tassie, and then there's a few choir books coming up, and I didn't talk about that either. So I think that's really funny how it comes. Oh, Lisa, you're getting rain down in Tassie as well. We're very humid here in southwest Victoria, hence the very flat and fuzzy hair that I've got happening tonight. So anyway, so I also while I'm here, I just wanted to mention for those of you who enjoyed Just an Ordinary Family, which is not on the screen and was my 2020 book, it won an award at the end of last year. So that was pretty exciting. That was my book about talking about betrayal and how hard it is after a betrayal to forgive, and when is the person is the victim, when do they then become the perpetrator when they can't move past the betrayal. So that was very exciting. And Anyway, has anyone got any specific question they want to ask me? I can rabbit on a bit more about the book. I did actually get down to Tassie eventually at the very end of 2020, which the book was half written, and I was familiar with the area. But when you go with author eyes, you see things quite differently. And it was fascinating to see what the community had done in Penguin. There's a few towns in Tassie that have got what's called a 7-day makeover. And Penguin was one of those. In fact, I think it was featured on Backroads, the ABC television show. And the community have done an amazing job. It's very worth popping into Penguin if you're on the northwest coast. Now, someone just asked me, was I thinking about writing a follow-up to Home Fires? Stacey, I don't think so, because I took that community to the depths of despair and then I built them back. And I really don't want to put them through any more trauma. And the thing about writing a book is you need to have something interesting to say. And you need to have conflict and you need to have drama, or else it won't be an interesting book to read. So I'm not really sure that there is a sequel in it. But I think you can sort of say that I set them up and to let them walk off into a far more positive future. Did the characters change much from when I first envisaged? In A Family of Strangers, no. But the book that I'm writing right now, which is coming out next year, the person I thought was the minor character has become the lead character, and it's kind of thrown me into a little bit of chaos. But that's next year's story. Pretty much Addie was always the lead, and the rest went. I don't always know how I'm going to go in regards to telling the story of how it's absolutely going to play out, but I normally know what they believe about themselves, and that impacts what they say and how they react. So I was able to follow the characters through pretty well. There's always spots where you don't know what's going to go on, and hopefully that comes to you, and I got there in the end. So that's always the way. Oh, Michelle, would I write about a flood? A natural disaster, there's fire, tornado, flood, they share the trauma, they share very similar things. So I think I probably mined all that in Home Fires. So yes, Addie's a fabulous. Did anyone inspire her, Addie? Not really. I wanted to look at a strong woman, a woman who was trying to live her best life, but had a lot of emotional baggage. And I certainly did a lot of research on alcohol abuse and drinking and recovery stories. But no, all my characters are an amalgam of a whole lot of different people that I have read about, or things like that. It's never any one person. Oh, thank you, Anne. I've got about 30 seconds to go, or maybe 2 minutes. I don't know. Oh, no, I'm at 28 minutes. So I've got 2 minutes to go, people. Bronwyn, yeah. I think they just think that people are sick of COVID, and it may well be something to explore in a couple of years. But right now we're still living with it, and I think people are not that keen. I think they're reading to escape. So, yeah, I don't know. But the Steph and Henry story was, in fact, inspired by everybody having to work from home and me having a husband who is no longer leaving the house to work. So, yeah, trying to both run a business from home. So, yeah, a lot of that, a bit of COVID and a bit of personal stuff went into there, and my frustrations about carrying my mental load. I certainly mind there's always a little bit of me in a book, and for this one, that was absolutely it. Well, thank you, Bronwyn. And everyone who's saying lovely words, you're very welcome. I I love that the books are well received, and I really appreciate you having spent half an hour with me tonight on my release day. Woohoo! And I hope that you can find it, whether it's in print or audio or ebook. And I hope you can find it in your local bookshop. It's not going to be able to get to southern Queensland or northern New South Wales because of the floods, but no one's going to be actually there able to read them. And once again, we're really thinking of everyone who is struggling with the floods. And please take care. And thanks so much for being here tonight.